Hey everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records. It is time for our weekly check into some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. Just the highlights though, again the lists are way too long to go through in such a short video. If there's something you've heard of that is coming out and you didn't quite see it in our video and you'd like more details, feel free to contact us here at the store. You can also visit our website at radiowastelandrecords.com. Before we get to the upcoming releases, though, for the 23rd of February, I had to check the date there, a couple of quick notes because the Record Store Day list is out, and so there's going to be a lot of attention given to that and the releases coming out on Record Store Day 2024. If you're local here to the Midland, Michigan area and you're curious, you can always follow us on our social media pages and or our YouTube channel, and we'll give you so much more details on that. Our podcast with Steve Carlson from the Vinyl Community will also have a much more in-depth dive to this year's Record Store Day releases. So check that out on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and on our YouTube channel. It's called Two Guys Talking About Records. I know, really, really inventive. Also, another quick note regarding the pre-Record Store Day stuff. During the Super Bowl, Taylor Swift announced that she will be releasing a new album on the 19th of April, which is the day before Record Store Day. So that has not been officially announced in our pre-orders yet, so we don't know what kind of configurations or vinyl color or anything of that nature. So again, stay tuned to our stuff. As soon as we get some more information on that, we will pass that along. One other thing that's a little bit confusing is that Pearl Jam also announced that their new album, Dark Matter, will be coming out on the day before Record Store Day. And this is technically true. Releasing on the 19th of April, Dark Matter is going to be on black vinyl, but then the day after, it is considered to be a Record Store Day release on colored vinyl. We'll see where that goes, but if you're just a black vinyl purist or if you're a Pearl Jam completist, that is coming up the day before Record Store Day as well. But as we get closer to that date for both the Taylor Swift and the Pearl Jam releases, we will give you guys more information on that. But now, though, let's head into the new releases for Friday, the 23rd of February, 2024. An old name with something brand new kicking us out of the gate, and this is called 10,000 Volts, and it's by Ace Frehley. Our description says that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee and Grammy-nominated guitar legend Ace Frehley has announced his new studio album, 10,000 Volts. This has been produced by Ace and Steve Brown of Trickster. It is an 11-track album full of electrifying, hard-hitting, riff-heavy rock and roll. We have two versions showing up in our pre-orders, a red vinyl version coming in at a suggested list price of $33, and there is a splatter vinyl version, kind of a color-in-color multi-splatter one, which looks pretty darn cool. That one also coming in at a suggested list price of $33. So again, brand new stuff from Ace Frehley. This one kind of came out of nowhere, but it is a brand new album from Modern English. You remember them from the 80s? Well, for me, what I remember of the 80s, this one is called 1, 2, 3, 4. The description is rather sparse. It just simply says that 1, 2, 3, 4 is the new studio album from Modern English. It features 10 new songs, including the first single, Long in the Tooth. Aren't we all? This is a 180-gram yellow colored vinyl coming in a gatefold jacket. So brand new Modern English called 1, 2, 3, 4, listing for about $26. I just saw some news that Rod Stewart has sold the rights for his music catalog. Good for him. But here he is with another release. This one's called Swing Fever, available on black vinyl. I think this was released once before, but we now have Rod Stewart singing some swing music. This is a 13-track sparkling salute to the timeless songs of the big band years. Includes such great songs as Ain't Misbehavin', Frankie and Johnny, Sentimental Journey, and Lullaby of Broadway. So some cool stuff. Black vinyl Swing Fever from Rod Stewart coming in at a suggested price of $28. And again, I don't normally like to include these types of tribute albums, but this one sounds interesting. It is called The Other Side of Pink Floyd. It is a various artists LP coming from Cleopatra Records on pink vinyl. And the description really gets into it. It says the first ever vinyl release of this tribute album that sees gothic and industrial superstars bring a whole new level of psychedelic spookiness to the songs of Pink Floyd. Okay then, that sounds interesting. Stellar performances by Hawkwind co-founder Nick Turner, post-punk legends, Chrome, Psychic TV, Spawn Ranch, and many more. Liner notes written by music historian Dave Thompson. So some very cool stuff. Other bands I sort of kind of recognize, the Electric Hellfire Club doing Lucifer Sam. Chrome is on there, as we mentioned. Alien Sex Fiend doing Echoes. This could be an interesting one. So a kind of a goth industrial tribute to Pink Floyd called The Other Side of Pink Floyd on that pink colored vinyl, coming in at a suggested list price of $28. Some great stuff on the reissue front for the 23rd of February, including a trio of reissues from a Michigan band called the Black Dahlia Murder. You may have heard of these guys. Some great rockers from Waterford, Michigan. Looks like we've got 3 of their releases scheduled for a reissue, starting off with Unhallowed, the originally released in 2003, the debut studio album from Black Dahlia Murder. This one coming on green and red smoke vinyl, kind of a splatter color, followed up by Miasma. This one was originally released in 2005. Looks like this is on a red-green split colored vinyl. And then finally, we're getting Nocturnal coming on red and green splatter vinyl. This one was originally released in 2007. Prices on those, looks like Unhallowed coming in at a suggested price of $33. Miasma coming in also at $33. And Nocturnal, looks like they're holding true, also a suggested list price of $33. So 3 great ones from a very hard rockin' Michigan band in the Black Dahlia Murder. Also on the reissue front, this one I think just sounds absolutely great. I've been getting into this more modern bluegrass lately, and while not necessarily new, it's new to vinyl. This is Traveler from Jerry Douglas. You may have heard of Jerry Douglas, or at least heard some of his stuff. He has appeared on some great cuts as a sideman, including some stuff with John Hyatt. I believe he was involved with the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou soundtrack. Well, here he is on his own, and our description says, available for the first time on vinyl, Jerry has finally recorded an album that will further elevate his already impressive stature from that super sideman to a bona fide front-rank creator of musical Americana. This one has got some great musicians helping Jerry Douglas out, including Eric Clapton, Mumford & Sons, and Paul Simon doing a version of The Boxer. I've heard this. That is absolutely a phenomenal cover tune. There's also a song on here with Alison Krauss and Union Station helping out, as well as some other vocal and instrumental stuff from Jerry Douglas. So this is going to be a fun one. Jerry Douglas, Traveler on black vinyl, coming in at a suggested list price of $30. And then, as we're seeing pictured here, an indie exclusive on dark sky with white swirl vinyl. Man, it's a pretty piece of wax. This one also coming in at a suggested list price of $30. That should be a very good one for those of you into more modern bluegrass. We're getting a reissue from Neil Young and Crazy Horse of Doom. D-U-M-E, got to say that right. Double LP limited edition includes a lithograph of the front cover. Doom, by the way, is that 16-song album by Neil Young with Crazy Horse, originally released in 1975. This version, by the way, includes tracks and outtakes from Zuma. So a double LP reissue of Doom from Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Looks like that's got that lithograph and some other goodies inside, coming in at a suggested list price of $35. Going back to the vaults for Prince, this is called The Vault, Old Friends for Sale, with that number 4 in there. The description says that The Vault, Old Friends for Sale is a collection of previously unreleased songs from Prince's legendary vault that was released by Warner Brother Records in 1999, shortly before the release of his studio album Rave Unto You. So this is a neat reissue of that. Now coming up, looks like on black vinyl, single LP. So The Vault, Old Friends for Sale by Prince, coming in at a suggested list price of $27. Next up, we've got a reissue of, let's see, it was a Record Store Day release last year, I believe, from Post Malone. This is the Diamond Collection. Double LP set on metallic silver vinyl, the Diamond Collection is a compilation of Post Malone's top hits to date, including Congratulations, Sunflower, Swan Lee, and many other ones. So this physical release includes the Diamond certified hits, as well as additional tracks. So the double LP set, as I mentioned, on metallic silver vinyl. Post Malone, the Diamond Collection, coming in at a suggested list price of $40. Also a previous RSD release, now being, reissued, so it was an RSD first. Here is Van Halen's Live, Right Here, Right Now. This was a big box set last year. Van Halen's first live album, 1993's Double Platinum, Live, Right Here, Right Now. now available on 180-gram black vinyl. Recorded in May of 1992 as the band was wrapping up their massive world tour in support of their classic album For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. So this is all Van Hagar stuff. This package includes the entire live album on 4 180-gram LPs, remastered from the 5150 studio master tapes by Bernie Grundman, and this includes all 24 songs from the original CD release, plus 3 bonus live recordings. So 4 LPs, a black vinyl version of Van Halen's Live Right Here, Right Now, coming in at a suggested list price of $100. Continuing the series of reissues of their back catalog, we've got another one from The Cult. This is Dreamtime, coming on red colored vinyl. This, by the way, I believe was The Cult's debut album from way back when. So Dreamtime on this red vinyl from The Cult, coming in at a suggested list price of $30. From Touch and Go Records, so you know it's going to be a little heftier, here is something from TV on the Radio, and it's a reissue of Dear Science. This is the band's 3rd studio album, which was originally released in 2008. So Dear Science coming on white vinyl from TV on the Radio, coming in at a suggested list price of $29. Backing things up with some cool 80s alternative, This Is the Sea from the Waterboys, this version coming on clear vinyl. This Is the Sea was the 3rd album released by the Waterboys. Originally, it came out in September of 1985 and includes the classic single The Whole of the Moon, along with lots of other great tracks. Clear vinyl, This Is the Sea, a reissue from the Waterboys, coming in at a suggested list price of $28. A couple of music on vinyl metal reissues to tell you about, both of them coming from White Lion, only one pictured here, however. This is Main Attraction, coming on limited edition 180-gram silver colored vinyl, and by limited I mean this is one of 1,500 individually numbered copies on that silver audiophile vinyl. Main Attraction is the 4th studio album from the New York-based glam metal band White Lion, coming in at a suggested list price of $38. And then also, again not pictured here, a music on vinyl on black vinyl reissue of White Lion's Big Game, that one coming in at a suggested price of $37. Continuing on the heavier side, we've got an interesting reissue from King Diamond. This is Masquerade of Madness. Now, not quite a reissue, but we'll get into that here. The description says that King Diamond Masquerade of Madness was originally released as a digital single in 2019. Now, in 2024, we're getting this available for the first time on vinyl. This is a 3-track, they're still calling it LP, and it features Masquerade of Madness, Welcome Home live at the Grass Pop, and Arrival also live at Grass Pop. All available for the first time on vinyl, features a collectible paper mask as an insert. So Masquerade of Madness on beige color vinyl with that mask insert coming from King Diamond, and the suggested list price on that is $27. A couple of cool jazz reissues to pass along as we wrap up our day. The first being Sorcerer, coming from Miles Davis, and Music on Vinyl. This one coming on 180-gram crystal clear vinyl, a limited edition of 2,500 individually numbered copies on that crystal clear vinyl. A great album, and this thing should sound absolutely fantastic as well. The reissue from MOV of Sorcerer from Miles Davis on that clear vinyl, listing for about $38. And then we've got another newish one from the Verve Acoustic Sound series. This is previously unreleased recordings from Stan Getz and Bill Evans. The description says that Stan Getz and Bill Evans are about as close to as musicians can get in terms of perfection of artistry, musical philosophy, and technique. So these sessions were recorded in 1963 when both artists were at the peak of their creative powers. So the Verve Acoustic Sound series features transfers from original analog tapes remastered onto that 180-gram vinyl in deluxe gatefold packaging. So previously unreleased songs, part of the Verve Acoustic Sound series from Stan Getz and Bill Evans, coming in at a suggested list price of $39. And that is a quick check of some of the releases headed our way for Friday, the 23rd of February, 2024. If you're local and you would like us to place a pre-order, just contact us here at the record store and we will take care of you. Otherwise, head over to our website and check out everything that's going on at RadioWastelandRecords.com. Don't forget, Record Store Day 2024 is fast approaching, so make sure you check out some of the other videos on our channel. Make sure you're subscribed as well and hit that like button, comment button, but we will be covering a lot of that RSD stuff coming up in the near future, and that includes our podcast, Two Guys Talking About Records. Till next time, this has been Jim from Radio Wasteland. Thanks a lot for watching.